All right, Brian Gossett, GM Sports Media out here in Alvarado. 8-5A playing game where Cleburne takes down Timberview 6-2, and doing so the program's first playoff berth since 2017. Kendall Mathis, head coach. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about this win, this feeling of getting this program back to the big dance.
Yes, crazy. It's been a crazy ride, crazy first season. Coming in the summer, I got on board with my assistant coaches. I'm blessed with 3 of them, and kind of wanted to set the standard of we're playing late in April and in postseason, and that should be our new expectation. And just they've got on board with that and bought into everything that we've been throwing at the kids. So I can't thank them enough. It takes all of us to get these kids on board, and it's been just awesome to see the buy-in and to see these kids, come out and compete and, expect to compete every night. I feel like we turned it on in the second half of district and never really looked back. So it's been awesome to see that kind of come together.
Cadence, you mentioned, just kind of the adversity and learning from it. And then, once everyone was kind of bought in and on board, that's when you guys really played your best. But I mean, today, could you sense, obviously you're confident enough to come in and say we're going to win this game, but could you feel like the girls were ready to go, hyped, excited for this game?
Oh yeah, it started, I would say, at 8 o'clock this morning when I got to school. I see all the varsity dressed the same, and they're walking in the hallways, and they're like, "You ready, coach?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I felt it from 8 a.m. this morning until BP before the game. They got on the bus, and I don't think they turned it off since the game started. The dugout was loud every single inning. Even when, Timberview scored first, we came back and answered. It never really affected them. They just compete, and, as a coach, that's all you want is trying to get them in that competitor mindset and the belief, and, yes, we can. And that was their mindset. They weren't backing down tonight. They came into this game confident, and I was really happy to see that.
All 6 runs coming in the bottom of the first, highlighted by Cadence, big 3-run home run.
Yes.
How did that maybe help your pitcher settle in, getting that offense early on?
We told her they scored one that top half of the inning, let's win it. On the bottom half of the inning, we're big on win the inning. And, having her team have her back and score 6 in that first run, and just, I feel like we had the momentum the whole game. And it started from that first inning. It's awesome to see your team come out and score 6 off the bat, but they were having good at-bats. Started off, lead-off triple, bunting, and then Cadence come up with a big swing, which she's been doing all season for us. So, it's awesome to see her come in and such a intense game, and she comes through for her team. So it was pretty cool to see that inning.
I asked Cadence about just kind of that first day of coming on campus and meeting the girls, and she said it was a smooth transition. Did you feel that? Was it pretty easy to get to know these girls?
Yeah, from day one, they just were willing to work and willing to trust me and trust the new system. And, my expectations were up here, and I don't think they, all fall ball. I was watching them play fall ball, and I was like, okay, well, let's go. Where is it at? Where is that? We got to turn it on. And, I had to realize they haven't been used to that expectation of, high-level softball. And, just trying to get them to buy into winning every inning and competing and cheering in the dugout and just being competitors in every aspect of the game. It's been awesome to see it finally, come to fruition. So, I've been blessed since day one I got here. They've just been bought in and willing to do whatever I ask.
I know you've coached locally, Weatherford previously, and even here, right, Alvarado.
Yes.
But ultimately, just what kind of stood out to Cleburne? What attracted you to the job?
My first job coaching high school, after I got done coaching college softball for 4 years in Florida, I moved here, and only place that would hire me was Alvarado because I didn't have a teaching certification yet. I never knew I was going to be a teacher. So started my career out here, and then always lived in Weatherford. And, they were trying to get me over there, passed my test, passed your test. And once I did, I got the job being the varsity assistant over there. And working for Jeff Lemons has been a blessing. He's one of my mentors. He's one of my go-tos after every game, and throughout this whole kind of postseason talk and journey, he's been, coaching me up on, hey, you need to do this, make sure you get this. And, I've been fortunate to work with some awesome mentors, and I can't thank him enough for everything that he's done. So he actually called me about this job. Hey, you want to go interview at Cleburne? And I was like, Cleburne? And so here I am. I ended up here, and I'm so fortunate to be here because these kids, they work for me. They have that whatever it takes to get done. They trust me, and they're just workhorses. And they come from good families, and the parents have been such a huge blessing here. Whatever I need, they're very supportive. So from the admin down, I've been very blessed so far in this job, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I mean, Levens is obviously a legend, and my first year here is when he won with 2015 with Alito. So always good buddy of mine. But last question is just what do you think is the biggest thing he taught you, Coach Levens?
He's taught me patience. As a former Division I athlete and a competitor, I'm like, we gotta win, and he's kind of taught me, it's not how you start, because we had a rough start. I don't know if you followed our beginning of our season, from injuries to illness to kids in the hospital. It was crazy. I've never experienced something like that with softball. But second half of district, I had a full roster back, and he was big on when we were at Weatherford. Preseason is whatever, but when you get in district, that's when it matters, and that's when the kids need to buy in, and they put the work in all preseason. That it's going to come together. So lots of patience he taught me, and just keep the kids bought in and believing, and that's what they did tonight. So I couldn't be more proud.
Awesome. All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'd like to thank our proud sponsor, Grey Wolf Promotions. Looking to amp your fan gear fundraising? Contact Grey Wolf Promotions. My man Bill Webb out in Hearst does it right. You need t-shirts for your next high school season, swag for your playoff run, hats, bags, and more. Check out Grey Wolf Promotions today. Give them a call at 817-868-9653. Check out their website, greywolfpromotions.com, or email sales@greywolfpromotions.com.